right, we are going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time.
Woo.
To talk about things and our stuff in the world's least serious podcast, the Thursday Hangout and Talk About Whatever, the podcast directly made for someone like me that has the attention span of a gnat or a small child. So I want to talk about things. What those things are, they could be stuff. They could be things. I mean, doesn't matter, guys. It's all about having a good time.
Absolutely.
So, you know what? I want to start with what's up, guys? First off, I have to figure out how to make a poll. Hold on a second. It's in one of these buttons, everyone. Start a poll.
I believe in you, old man. Technology and him.
What should Brandon play for Glass City? What is it? It's Glass City GT, right?
GT. Yep.
I just call it the Glass City. I'm an OG. There we go. I got a poll started. What's up, everyone? You can vote in the poll.
The question is, what armies do you own, Brandon?
Oh, shit. I said I made it a yes or no.
Should I play?
Oh, yes. Okay. I guess I'll end that poll, guys.
Drinking enough?
Oh,
I
Jesus.
play.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to take a nice dab of Diet Dr. Pepper here, and I hope that sobers me up, apparently. Even though I've drank absolutely nothing. All right. You know what I'm going to start with? Because I'm going to figure this out, guys. I'm going to start with Mr. Sniggs. Sniggs, what is on the horizon? What do you want to see in 40K in general, or literally anything in the new year?
In literally anything?
How do I make options?
I am literally super excited for the Harry Potter MMO that's coming out.
Really?
Yeah, it's on the PS5 and the Switch. We said I saw. So yeah, I'm super excited for the Harry Potter MMO. It looks really good.
That actually sounds cool. I'm not a big Harry Potter person, but I bet you that'd be fun.
It looks amazing. They have a 15-minute game trailer of just gameplay, and it actually looks better than Skyrim. So I'm excited.
I'm just hoping the studio can deliver, because this is their first time doing a big project like this.
Yes, it is.
I'm just going to put exactly what happened in the chat and move on with my life. All right, in chat, what do you guys think Brandon should play? Because I tried to make it into a poll, and I made it a yes or no, and then I tried to give it options, and then I accidentally closed it twice. And I don't know if you've met me, but I'm really good with technology.
Really?
That's true. I like Lyle. I was Snigs in a stream, but it's not just a video of the fattest dog in the world. Dude, we need to put some of that. You should have sent me that. Dude, so Snigs' dog, as anybody hasn't been over to Snigs, they have before and after, by the way. I forgot. He has, what is Rue anyways?
He's a Beagle Collie mix.
Okay, he's a snozzage. He is just a cylinder with two tiny legs that also looks at you when you get to the house like Snakes has never fed him ever. The saddest, like, Sarah McLachlan songs are playing in the background. And like, oh, he's just looking at you like he's been starved. You look at him and he's just like, bruh, like just, he lays on with one of the steps because he basically is just like, that's far. And the better part was I forgot. It's this just goes, remember when he looked like this? And I'm like, what the hell happened to this dog?
The doctor.
He does look like a ho-ho.
We had to take him to the vet because he got some issues lately, but he's supposed to weigh 32 pounds. That's what they estimate should be right for him. He weighs 74 right now.
Oof. As a fat guy, I empathy for him.
It's just the fact that he's just literally a sausage packed together. It's just this tube of dog.
He's the happiest dog ever, though.
Oh, God, he is definitely happy as hell.
Awesome.
All right, what are we playing? What is Brandon playing? You know what? I'm going to try this poll thing again. You guys talk about what Brandon should play. I feel I got this.
So Brandon, what armies do you have for options for this to be picked?
So I have about 20,000 points of Space Marines. So we could play pretty much whatever chapter. I have access to Sisters of Battle, and I have access to Tau. Or Jason could be spicy and just give me an army to borrow.
I suggest you play Knights. I have a couple of those.
I wouldn't mind seeing you playing Abaddon and Friends.
How do I take out the yes and no's? Can somebody help me with this?
I have no idea.
If I was there, probably, since I'm here.
Hold on. Here's the poll. Yes, no, Crude Hound spam, Marines. I'm leaving this up the entire stream. You know, you guys laugh. We went to Brandon's house and we did the first Brown Eye of Terror Invitational. And I walk up and I'm like, he's like, it's a joke, guys. You play whatever you want. Just play a fun army. We're gonna have some drinks. We're gonna chill out. We'll get some food. We're gonna play games all weekend in a tournament. I have to put quotes on that because it was it's just an excuse for us to chat with each other, basically, which is the best thing that happens. And all of a sudden I see Brandon's playing Tau and I'm like, what kind of a dick plays Tau at a just for fun? And then I walk over to the table and it's just Kroot spam with Krootox. And I'm like, oh, never mind.
You know, it only costs 851 points for 36 Kroot Hounds, 2 Shapers, 9 Krootox, and 60 Kroot.
You should play that. And I want to see how quickly you can get that much stuff picked up. It'll be like a magic trick. You're like, Kroot, and it's gone.
Oh, it gets tabled so fast.
Like,
but people get confused. They're like, why are there so many bodies on the table?
So, all right, we're going back to we got the poll up now. You know, that poll that says yes, no. I gotta get my cheat together. Look, here, I got a story about how feeble I am with stuff. I was trying to have a meeting for Team USA, and I was in the Team USA Discord, and basically I was there an hour early because they put it in Central Time, and I don't acknowledge any time sign Eastern. And so one of the guys goes, Brad, go in there at least and say, you know, add here and tag and add here everyone. And so I just typed at AT here, everyone, enter. And everybody just went, we got this for you, man.
This is Captain America. He was raised in the 1940s and then cryogenically frozen until 1995 to play 40K.
Oh, Jesus. So, all right, let's get back to my original question, fellas. Before I got defeated by trying to make a poll on YouTube. You're like, what was the technology issue that you couldn't solve? You know, make a poll. So, what do you guys want to have? I'm going to give you, it's a two-parter. One's wide as hell. One, what do you want to see in the new season of 40K? Two, what do you want to see in just basically what shows do you want to see come out? Like anything that you're looking forward to, basically fantasy, sci-fi, whatever, a Lifetime Network, military history channel, don't care. What do you want to see?
I guess I'll kick us off. So movie television wise, I would love to see Kung Fury 2. It's been way too long. We need a sequel. It was supposed to come out last year or this current year, but it was delayed for obvious reasons. In addition, they're making some new Alien movies and an Alien television show. Love to see that.
Ooh, they got an Alien.
And I'm looking for.
Do they have an Alien television show, or are you just hoping for an Alien television show?
No, it's coming out on AMC.
Nice.
So it's supposed to be like I don't know if it's a mini series, but it's supposed to be just a returning back to the roots of a horror movie. I don't know what the time frame is. I don't know if it's supposed to be current or future, or if it's like what the basis is. But we're going to be releasing it at AMC, from what I understand.
Ooh, I could be down with that.
And they're supposed to be releasing a major motion picture, probably 2024, to continue the Prometheus trilogy.
Are they going to make it not terrible this time?
It's the same director as last time, so probably it's gonna be terrible.
Dude,
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be there.
Prometheus wasn't even that bad. I'll give you this. I'm gonna back it up. Prometheus was so bad because I was so excited. I'm the most cynical person about everything, but for whatever reason, I fall prey to movie trailers every time. I see the trailer and I'm like, that's gonna be amazing. And I got so excited about it. And then I went and let's go over some of the highlights. The dude in charge of mapping the place got lost and panicked. The biologist tried to pet an alien organism and got killed. And I was like, it serves you right. And then they tried to run away from a wheel and they ran straight ahead instead of to either side. Screw you, Prometheus.
So I can very much say what I'm looking forward to in the new year is it's kind of a silly thing. I think it's more of a nostalgia thing for me, is the Night Court reboot. I don't know why I'm looking forward to it so much, but I really want to see it.
I love that show. It was hilarious back in the day.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Night Court reboot.
She's a fun,
Yep.
the girl from Big Bang Theory is doing
From
it.
Big Bang Theory.
She's a funny actress too. I can see that being pretty decent.
And she's playing Harry Stone's daughter, and they bring back John Larroquette to reprise his role. So it should be at least entertaining. And that's all I'm hoping for in a half-hour sitcom, is a little bit of entertainment.
What do you want in the new season of 40K? You're going to change anything? What are you changing right now?
I would like to see more of an emphasis on the hobby aspect. I feel like hobby's been pushed aside for the last 6 to 7 years, and I'd like to see more of an emphasis based on best overall and best painting instead of a random hobby track score that nobody knows what the actual rules are.
Lyle goes, it was not until this trailer came out that I realized that OG Night Court wasn't a show like Judge Judy. How dare you, sir? How dare you?
So I like that idea, Brandon, as someone, you know me for years, and I've always liked the overall and hobby aspect of it. I plan on this year making that a much bigger emphasis at events that I run that are my events, to where those become the major prizes, where Best General is still appreciated and respected, but the bigger prize, the nicer trophy, goes to those overall people.
The issue with that is that if you mathematically goof up the points where overall pays out or plays out better towards the better painted, you can have people literally go like 2 and 3 and win best overall. And I'm not sure that that's really beneficial to the hobby in itself.
You don't make
I like it to where at least it's the value of one full game for the hobby score.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
I mean,
I like it to be one full game.
Yeah, it's going to be the thing is you want to have something painted. You almost have to have it as a minimum, to be honest. Like whoever wins overall had to have a full painted whatever you make the bare minimums are. You know what I mean? In your rubric, it has to at least be that, and then give it a value on that. I'm not even a hobby dude, but it was the standard. I miss the days where even myself, I had my little fluff piece of what my army was about. You had sergeants named. You put a little bit of stuff with your army. Everybody had at least a trash display board because you just got 3 points or whatever it was at the time for it. And everybody took a little bit more time with their armies. And now, and I know I have no room to talk about stuff because I will find some models on the floor if I decide I want to play a different army tomorrow and play them. But like everybody used to take just a little bit more time. And if I sound like I'm the old guy going, everybody used to wear suits on the planes. But everybody took just a little more time with their army, and I thought that was cool. You know what I mean? Like everybody had their nonsense they were going for, because you had to bring your army list, and your army list had to have that little short story or whatever you want to call it. It had like a little piece.
We were a group of us who have been around for a while. We were like, yeah, we missed the Highlander tournaments. And we were like, yeah, those are really tough to do now because of the way that the codexes are written and everything else. And we were trying to like, what if we did a comp thing? We spent, I can't even tell you the number of hours just sitting going codex by codex trying to do comp. And I want to say like 8 hours in, we were like 4 books in, and we were like, this is going to be really hard.
Nick's brought
What
up
about a percentage system?
It's
Like
too hard
like
though, because some
50% true.
people's troops are a billion times better than other people's. That's the problem right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Like a billion. You're like, hey, before Harlequins, you're like, hey, I'm bringing troops for Harlequins. Yeah, no shit. You know, like it's, I'm probably going to be all right. Like, you know,
Well, it's like we were debating, like, you know, as we were sitting going, you know, well, what do you do with Highlander now? And we were like, well, you have to make it so you can only take one of any dedicated transport, because it used to be back in the day that once you took every dedicated transport, you could start repeating.
But the problem is, certain armies you can't. Are we gonna stop it? Harlequins. The problem is certain armies, custodes, Harlequins, even Necrons to an extent, they don't have that many slots. And I say Necrons just because of the fact that they have 2 troops. You know what I mean? So. But the thing is Snakes just brought up the other day, because we were talking about different formats that he'd like to see. And I was hoping you'd throw this in, but the Highlander was one of the ones he threw out there. And we were talking about it. I'll probably get tomatoes thrown at me, but I get competitive. The competitive scene, yes. If you're doing a pure, like, this is for the rankings for the ITC and stuff, but man, I like going to tournaments that give me a different skill check, you know what I mean, of building, you know, with things like Highlander and stuff like that, and making things work. And you have to go into those tournaments though knowing that certain things are just going to be better than other things. They just are, you know what I mean, because the rules are going to work out that way. But I like shit like that where you have to solve a problem. So, but I don't want it for every tournament, and I don't want it for the full competitive scene or whatever it is, but like, it's nice to go to tournaments that have different stuff. I guess I'm also spoiled because I go to enough tournaments now that I would like to see differences in terrain and rules and stuff like that. I don't want the base rules. Hold on. I want to back that way up. I want there to be a unified FAQ. I'm talking about like rules for like building your army and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Do stuff like that that are different. Don't change the rules at all. Please, for the love of baby Jeebus, all things each, the core and powers that be. One unified FAQ of rules.
So as you bring up the one unified thing of rules, it was nice to see FLG use the WTC engagement rules.
100%, dude. I could not. For everybody that does not know about it, FLG right now for LVO, and I'm assuming for their tournaments moving forward, is going to be using the WTC FAQ for charging, which basically says that if you can make a charge, you just count as having made it, even if you can't fit the models there. So if I was charging Brian's unit on the other side of a wall with Centurions, and he tried to be the guy that gave you the 1.1 inch so you couldn't fit a model, cool. Wait, hold on. Look what I found. Nope, you still make the charge. You basically
you wobbly model it and you're in.
Yep, you count as in. You basically fight in a rank, but you still make the charge. You're in. It solves so many problems. And the thing about it, and we said this before, I've said it before, a couple of us have said it, I love the WTC FAQ, not because I agree with every single thing that's in it, but because of the fact that they've got 40 countries basically to agree to those rules. That's enough for me, man. You know what I mean? Like, if you can get all these people to bicker with each other to finally say, fine, this is it, just use that. Why are we fighting amongst ourselves over things? You got the rest of the world playing this game, and then we're playing a different one. It's just nuts.
Yeah, and most people know that I've almost always used the WTC FAQ after the GW FAQ, of course. But it's because, number one, at one point I did help a little bit with that. Not a lot, just a little bit. And they were really cool about letting me give them feedback, which was fantastic, and I appreciated that. But I just respected the amount of effort and work that they put into that, and the fact that they get so many people to agree to it and get so much input. It's fantastic.
It's just a big deal on that.
And the FAQ is what, like 50 pages? Like, it talks about every single possibility with every single army. Things that I didn't even realize were a question were answered, like placement of models and overlapping models.
That's the thing that
it was definitely enlightening reading over it for practice of.
Well, it's a big deal in that though, because they have to get very specific, because again, you have a shit ton of different languages to overcome. You know what I mean? So you have to be super specific, and they've already had to deal with that. So let them deal with the headache and give you the finished product. Hey guys, that probably really sucked to put together. Thanks. Neek. It's now mine.
Yeah. And the one thing I can say is, like, I was speaking with a couple of guys from the Spanish team at one of the 80 events that I went to last year. And they were like, oh, yeah, well, at our events, because this is the way the book is written in Spain, this is how we interpret it. And I'm like, oh, can I see? And so they showed me a book in Spanish, and I like did a Google Translate and was like, yeah, that's completely worded differently than what we have in English. And that's why WTC uses the English book. So there's like that consistency to start with.
Dude, the worst was, I think Eloise pointed it out the one time, but other players had said, you know, in the past, when I think you looked at the French version and were like, yeah, that doesn't even remotely say what this says in English. It's not even in the same dimension. You're like, this says 5-inch engagement. And the French version's like, this says eat cupcakes on Thursdays. You're like, I don't think those are the same rules, guys.
It's baguettes, Brad, not cupcakes. Baguettes.
Baguettes. Oh.
Not a croissant.
That's round one.
That was my favorite meme today. I was just watching the guy post up. He goes, man, I'm so tired from all the CrossFit I got. And then you hear his wife from back goes, you ate 4 croissants, you fat fuck. You didn't do any CrossFit. So, it was all of the things. So, Snakes, what do you want to see in the new year, brother?
What do I want to see in the new year? I want to see the next season of Resident Alien. I'm loving that show.
It's a good show.
I did like that. I have to thank Snakes is my resident weed through all the nonsense for me.
I want to see 40K actually change its FAQs and data slates and point updates to where, like, I don't know, black stayed the same, red went up, blue went down.
You mean like a change log? What?
Yeah, like a change log.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
I mean, because colors help people, you know, unless you're colorblind like Brad, and then maybe we need like underline, bold. I don't know.
That's
Well, they
still-
italicized it too when they did that.
No, the last one they
actually,
did
changed it to
not.
make it italicized
When they
it.
first did the only time that they actually even showed you that stuff changed, Snakes goes, well, they made the black stuff blue. And I went, cool. Great. So any chance you'll just point out the things that changed for me, or do I reference everything? You know what I want as changelog? What I really want when they release the data slate is, again, a changelog, because they stealth nerf stuff sometimes, because they'll take away a buff they gave them. But unless you're looking at both of the documents, the old one and the new one, you actually don't know. So it's crazy to me, because you're just standing there going, wait a minute. What?
So at one point in time, they used to actually like cross it out in a red line, like this is no longer relevant. Yeah.
They would cross it out. They would literally they would color code it or whatever. I could see red. And they would cross it out, and then they would have the new thing underneath it, which is super easy. So that's really, really nice. However, going, hey man, did they change any points? Maybe. Did they take anything out? Your guess is as good as mine. You should go on an Easter egg hunt. Literally just what I do is I wait for Reddit to tell me. I just go, okay, the doc's out. Someone will tell me all of the changes, and I'll just copy and paste that to a file on my computer. And yes, I can copy and paste. I'm the best.
That's kind of why, I mean, although the Warhammer app is not the greatest app in the world, the fact that they do update that the day that they do everything to like, and this is what it is now. And because I can't remember stratagems half the time and have to look them up, it's very nice to go, I can remember the name. All right, this is what it does. And that's typically the thing that when they change it, I am the worst at trying to remember that they changed it.
No, no, they're horrible when they do changes. It's
Well, it's a big deal because, like, I mean, think about it when you're at a game and And the thing is, this is why the takeouts. I mean, you see what got changed because you're like, oh, these things are now in this document. But when they take something out, you don't realize that it's out there. I was going to Eloise and that. You're just like, you go to a tournament and you don't, you're like, oh, they took whatever away. They, like the last one they did where they literally didn't say anything, but they just took away a couple of the AdMech nerfs.
Yep.
And you're just playing them incorrectly. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, sorry, I didn't take my detective. What was that?
Yeah, somebody was like, oh yeah, the stratagem changed back to this. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know. I thought it was still this. And they were like, no, they took away that nerf. And I went, all right.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty psyched for the Ark. The Ark of the Covenant really unlocks stuff, dude. But I'm saying, I know. I tell you the truth, I've been saying Ark of the Covenant so much, I don't actually remember what it's called. It's just the Ark of Omen.
Ark of Omen.
Nope, Ark of the Covenant sounds
so
way
is it
better.
bad? The thing that I'm looking forward to is not the data slates and everything else for Ark of Omen. I kind of want the campaign books because I want to play that Space Hulk.
That looks awesome.
Combat thing.
Did you see the preview for it today?
I glanced at it really quick because work was a living nightmare. I quickly went, hey, you have to measure around corners and through doors. And I'm like, yes, something that makes sense.
Like I want to make a table just to try it out.
But it's like I have so much old 3D Space Hulk terrain from back in the day when we played a lot of Space Hulk that I'm like, I think depending on how big they make the table, I should have enough to cover it.
I love that shit, man. Snigs, would we play Space Hulk immediately upon you trying to teach me how to play 40K?
No, it was about a week later. Because you were still super jazzed on like how awesome Terminators were.
Yeah, because I was playing Hulk and they were awesome. And then I played him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you read the lore.
Yeah, I read the lore. Basically, when Terminators come down in the lore, everybody shits their pants and runs away. And they kill everybody. In the game, this is a real story, Snakes puts my Terminators together, which I didn't realize that sprues were a thing. We'll go over that next time. And I put my Terminators on the board. They are on the board for one turn. When a unit of a command squad of stupid guardsmen double tap plasma and killed all of them. And I'm like, that is not what happens in the fluff. 4 dudes named Timmy don't shoot me with guns that are wearing t-shirts. Like, that is not heroic. This is not what they said.
Before they had the 5-up invul, right?
Yeah, they had no invul. Yeah. It's a 2-up save. I just went, so I just peel my guys. They're like, deuces, chump, take your stuff and get out of here. I'm like, this is a dumb game.
Plasma has AP too. See you later.
Yeah, exactly. I got no save.
You can make you can make a 3+ save on 2 dice, Brad. But
They
it doesn't
didn't
matter
have
if you
that.
don't have a save.
Yeah, I was just saying they didn't have it in the first place. Dude, it was so nuts. I was just like, what happened? They're like, put your models back in the tree. I'm like, this is a dumb game.
You got to remember though, Brad was taught how to play 40K in the School of Hard Knocks.
God.
We literally
Hey.
we taught him the right way.
Yeah. Hey, look in this box. That's what you get for looking at a box, idiot. I love always, well, how does this rule work? Well, just go ahead and do what you think you need to do. Oh, well, let me show you how this works then. Yeah, this seems bad. I don't have any models anymore. Cool. I won't. Let's check off the things that I don't do anymore. That. So, yeah. Sometimes you got to learn to play the game by getting rickrolled by your friends in the hobby.
I mean, when I first learned how to play 40K back in 2000, 2001, like I lost my first 50, 60 games. And after that point in time, then I got an actual grasp because people weren't nice, as Brad put it. They would stomp your face in because they felt good about it. And you learn. And a lot of people don't want to put that effort in. And then they just sell their miniatures on eBay and then you pick them up.
I remember my first like full game of 40K. It was clearly second edition, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be great. I got like 2 units of tactical Marines and everything. And my buddy came up and was like, all right, so here's my 2 Carnifexes, my Hive Tyrant, my 10 Gargoyles, and 6 Tyranid Warriors, and tabled me on turn 1. And I went, wow, there's aliens?
You should put a vortex grenade in there. You got this.
That was V2.
The chaplain threw it and it scattered back onto himself because that's what happened.
God, I used to love deviation on guns. One of our, do you remember the old Sid's Blood Angels when he killed his entire army? So a buddy of ours shot a Vindicator. It devied 6 inches back on him. His vehicle then exploded and blew up his other vehicle, which then, remember when you blew up penetrating chart 5, it deviated off the board. So his ride with all of his guys inside deviated off the board. So they're all considered dead. And he just goes, I just killed my army with my own shot. I don't really know what just happened. And, well, shit.
Ran into a very old friend of mine from back in the 2nd edition days. Was getting back into the game, stopped into the store, and was picking up some models. And he was like, man, do you remember back when you used to play Guard in 2nd edition? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, and your entire game, your entire turn was, I put my entire army on Overwatch. Go.
Yeah. Oh, God. Was Sustained fun? That was one of the first games that I ever saw. So Snakes is trying to tell me the game, which, by the way, didn't make any difference because I learned 2nd edition and then we immediately started playing 3rd. But I'm watching the game and Snakes is playing Space Wolf Terminators and he's got, 9 guys total?
9 guys plus the assassin.
Yes. And he just takes his turn. He's like, I'm on Overwatch. And I'm like, what does that mean? And the dude he's playing in the game just comes out in the open. And he just picks up all of the dice and throws them down. And the guy just picks up all his models. I'm like, oh, well that seems bad.
It was always fun watching a Cyclone missile launcher jam.
Yeah.
When it got
Or
the double
assault
jam.
cannons.
Or the assault cannons.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to go back to the old thing. The assassin had a regular save, an invuln save, a dodge save, displacement field, and something else.
The way I had him set up, you had the Storm Shield save, the Displacement Field save, the 4-up Dodge save, the 3-up Displacer Field save, and then 3+ on 2d6 and Terminator armor.
By the way, you can take all of them back in the day. That wasn't an either or. It wasn't like take your save or an invuln. It was just keep rolling dice until one of them becomes what you needed.
They didn't die.
Yeah.
Ever.
That was like the old Carnifex with the save, invul save, feel no pain, regeneration.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love me some regen. I miss big old bugs punching stuff. I don't need big bugs shooting stuff. I want to see big bugs punching things. Heavy Carnifexes. You know what? I will... Lyle, this is why you should have got a lump of coal in your stocking. He says, my wish for 2023, bring back terrain surfing, you cowards. That was the dumbest psychic power / rule / whatever you want to call it. Oh my God. Also, you know who didn't like that? Tournament organizers. So what are you going to do? Yeah. I'm going to jam my models on your terrain so I can fit as many as possible, crushing all your trees and every other terrain feature. And I'm going to solo surf 3 knights that are on this forest into my opponent. Oh, by the way, for anybody that did not play the game in the dark age of 7th, there was a psychic power that literally said, take a piece of terrain and just move it. I don't remember if you flipped it or just moved it. Did you replace it?
You moved it.
Moved it.
Yeah. So you moved it a lot. It was like 20 inches.
And then you could move it on other units and it caused them to take damage.
Yeah, but like you could literally take it and move it, but you could put your models in it and then you move the piece of terrain and then you made a charge. So you just move like, all right, I moved 10 into the terrain moves 20 and now I'm going to charge. You're like, what just happened? Yeah, I just surfboarded on that over there.
So Eloise and I were actually talking about this today. So in previous editions, before the Games Workshop, Chapter House Studios lawsuit, there used to be a lot more flexibility for conversions, a lot more openness in each codex. And now it's going to the point where, like in the guard book, these Canadian models can only have a grenade launcher, flamer, or a sniper rifle. They can't
I
have
like that at all,
plasma
man.
guns anymore.
I love conversions.
And I love conversions. My entire army's converted. Actually, all three of them. And I just hate that because of that lawsuit, we now no longer get like awesome models. Like, remember with Grey Knights? I know Grey Knights in 5th edition were broken as shit, but they had the Ghost Grey Knights, the Ghost Terminators that you could bring back from the dead.
Mhm.
They had the Doom of Malantai for Tyranids. They had a whole
Doom of
bunch
Malantai was so
unique characters.
whack.
But they didn't have actual models, and you had to convert them, and they
Yeah.
were awesome to see these conversions.
Doom of Malantai used to look
I feel like
so
something was
sick.
lost. Oh yeah, do a psychic power. Oh, I gained 20 wounds.
But that's also back when you had double toughness, though.
Yep.
You doubled your toughness, you died. The Doom of Malantai
With the crack
has
missile.
43 wounds. Looks like you failed your save, you're dead.
Yep.
Like, that seems
But
bad.
I feel like some character was lost because of that. I feel like the game was more interesting back then.
Dude, I used to love walking in. That was the first thing that I did when I walked into old GTs. Back in my day. But back in the
1947?
No, but like in the 2000s, like the early 2000s, one of the best things to do is you get into the tournament hall early. Not Snake's early, by the way. He shows up before like the people that work there show up. That's a true story. He knows it too.
He helps set up the
He lies to me all the time when what time the event's starting, so that we could show up way earlier than I want to. So, but
It's not just earlier. I will tell you usually an hour to an hour and a half in advance so that we actually get there at least 45 minutes early.
I don't know what you're talking
Because
about.
you are never on time.
I'm
Brad,
totally
just means you started drinking earlier. That's the issue.
so, but I loved you just to go to the early GTs, the big GTs, the ones the GW ran. That's where we got the phrase grand tournament. You know what I mean? It's when they started running them in 2000, I think. But people would have their like crazy converted armies. The one guy did the entire USPS postal service with his guys. The dude with the Nurgle army that he converted to all Skaven, and his dreadnoughts were Doom wheels and stuff. Just like there was so many cool armies that
I just remember a guy had an entire army of kilted guys for his guardsmen, where he like used some of the Bretonian models and kit bashed it all together. Oh, I loved it so much.
Oh, you mean
Well,
like
there's that Space Marine chapter where they had the Highlander kilts on.
Yep.
And then they had bull mastiffs for just cyber hounds. I don't know. I think it was Space Wolves.
yeah, I mean that
Remember-
stuff's awesome.
Yeah.
You remember the Baltimore GT where at the end of every 10 table row there was the 8-foot table?
All right, let's talk about this because I played on it 4 times. So hold on, I got to get my chi together too.
I also played on one of those
Okay,
tables.
so
I played on it with Crew Mercenaries.
yeah,
That's all
I
I'm saying.
laugh.
on it
I
with-
laugh at you. You could actually infiltrate. I'm playing Khorne Berserkers, World Eaters. I have no guns. Sniggs knows this because he put together the army. So the table is this scenic table that they put together. It was not even really for match play, but for some unknown reason they were like, oh fuck it, let people play on it. So it's just supposed to look beautiful. So instead of the regular table size, it was 8 foot. So it's an extra lot of distance. They also basically had through it an H. So 2 lines all the way down and a line through, which were lava. The lava killed one of your guys at a 1 if he walked through it. And if your vehicle went through it, it got a hit on your rear armor. I have to go to the other side. So not am I only going a foot more, but I have to also go through lava that might kill my guys every game. It was crazy. Oh, hold on. I gotta get my in my good place. Oh man.
I mean, so back in 2006, during the Chicago GT, I was playing Crew Mercenaries, had like 140 crude on the table, pulling off first turn charges, blowing up takes with the Eviscerators. So the second round, I was playing against the all vehicle Dark Angels list, and it used to be if you got a penetrating hit, it would explode with an Eviscerator, generally speaking. I killed 100 of my own models in the take explosions because they took a wound on a 4+, and I had a 6-up save. So just One eviscerator on the sergeant would kill the entire squad. Killed 126 models. I tabled the guy. I killed 126 of my own models.
By the way, fuck Pete on that. He goes, I know what I'm doing for tables for MCM now. Only Brad tables. There's just gonna be a table that'll have my picture over it. It's just like, you know where you're playing. Eloise goes, you don't make the good.
That got given to me by a couple of the guys who are, I call them, they are our casual guys who they mostly play Crusade stuff. They play a lot at home, but they show up at the stores every once in a while and just kind of run a fun game for themselves. And they're like, man, you know, it'd be really neat if there was a narrative event that was a crusade that you got to add to your army as you went. That like started at 50 power level, went to 100 power level, and then went to like 200 power level. And I was like, you know, you're right. That would be a lot of fun. And I said, as a TO, it'd be kind of a nightmare because you'd have to like, you know, you'd have to expand your tables in that third, you know, in that higher point level. But at the same time, I'm like, I bet you a lot of people would like to just grow their army and gain rules as they go throughout their games. It'd be fun.
Name everybody. Death Master Brad, Chapter Master of the I'll fuck you up because I'm short and I'm angry about it. I know that's
do like an escalation tournament where have 2 games of 500, 1 game at 1,000, 1 game at 2,000.
Well, they
you could be able to fit that on one day.
They would really like it to be like concurrent with the GT because they want to go to the GT experience, but they don't want to play like the GT level competition, which I think narrative players would enjoy going to the big events if the narrative stuff was 100% narrative.
Well, then you got to put stricter rules on it, though. Also, Matt said that they did that at the Michigan GT. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I love stuff like that. And the thing is that I would love to play on that. I looked in that and it's fun. I mean, think about that. We used to literally do that every weekend, to be honest. We ran huge games with scenarios and stuff like that for a long time. But like in tournaments, it would be way cooler. But I think you have to really lock down the comp and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just one of those things where, you know, like as someone who does TO and runs events and is looking to expand events, but with different player bases, that was something that was suggested to me. And I'm like, and this was really just, these are 4 guys who play in their basement every Tuesday night. And they come out of their basement every once in a while to just, you know, go through random games against different people. And they were like, yeah, we'd like to do this. And they were like, we don't mind playing a match play game here and there, but we kind of like doing this because it's fun. And I was like, yeah, great. Sounds good. I'm kind of for it.
You need like a buzzer or something on games. I need the I'm out of here button. Switch opponents. You got to switch opponents when you have 2 tables that aren't having fun and 2 people want to be very serious and 2 other people don't. You immediately flip. And those people now play each other.
There's been a few games where people are just about as fun as a bag of rocks. I'd rather just end the game and just go drink somewhere.
The thing is the majority of people, I really feel this, if you ask the proper questions, have the proper interaction, you can make people that maybe aren't always fun be more fun. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are competitive and they don't want to be taken advantage of, but as long as you're communicating with them and asking all the things so you don't have weird gotcha moments or anything else. Because a lot of people aren't even looking to gotcha, I feel. They're more looking that somebody else gotcha'd them, so they're on the lookout now for it. So if you keep talking with somebody, you can have that, you can basically force a good game. Because there are people, and let's be honest, in the past, there was more people that were a little douchier than there are now, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Most of them are gone.
I think the community as a whole has gotten past a little bit of the gotcha. And when someone does a gotcha, usually it's their friends who go, dude, you could have explained that to him better. You could have explained to him how your fight last aura works or whatever the gotcha was. That's the first one that comes to mind because it's the one I've heard the most. And then they go, oh, well, I thought they would know what it meant. And he was like, you know, you always have to go, no, not everybody knows every codex. And then the guy feels bad, goes up. Normally it's an apology to the opponent. Hey, can I buy you a drink? I feel bad about it. and then normally it turns into a good conversation between the two people.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, everybody, I say this to everybody. I did people I coach and stuff, especially if you're newer, and write it down. There's literally a list of questions you ask before every game, and I'm telling you, they make your games a billion times better. You know, can you move before the game? Can you move outside of the move phase? Fights last, you know, fights first, heroic intervention. Just literally list those right down. And
at the Michigan, I think it was the Michigan GT. It might have been MCM. I played somebody that Brad coached, and Brad gave him like a list of questions, and he was like, "Hey, do you mind if I ask you these questions before the game?" And I'm like, "Absolutely sure, not at all." I answered all his questions, and one of them I was like, "I have the option to do this, but I don't have to do it." I don't remember which one it was, and he was like, "So, are you gonna do it?" And I'm like, "Well, it's an option. I don't know at the time, but I'm letting you know that it's available to me, but I might not do it." And he was like, "Oh, thanks. I appreciate that." And, you know, it's a good thing, because answering people's questions and being honest with them is a decent quality.
Also, your opponent will literally help you beat them if you give them the chance. You're like, "Hey, I'd like to not be seen by your Tau. Can I be here if you move your maximum distance?" They'll be like, "Oh, you know, I can actually do this with the commander, the jump commander, and I've got the strat for moving here, so you'd actually have to be a little bit over here." You know, literally just be nice and have a conversation, and most people will help you put your models in the perfect spot to defeat them. You're like, "Thanks. I was definitely going to lose until you fix that. Now I'm going to wreck you."
So Brad, just thinking out loud here. So I used to live in the Midwest. You know, I've lived on the East Coast. Now I live in the South. And every single region has a different play style. And I've noticed that down in the South, there are definitely lots of players who have gotcha moments. Even if you ask them the questions, they won't show you their codex. They won't explain rules.
Well, you can't.
And
It's actually illegal.
It's almost as if they like try to do their livelihood based on 40K. Like, it's happened to Eloise three times now.
That's the thing is that you have to change your community then, and it takes a little bit of time. But the thing is like, not showing some of your codex is actually illegal. So you have to show people rules if they ask you. So that's a big thing. But I think that there's always somebody that wants to watch the world burn, for one. That's just exists. There's going to be people that want other people to be sad. Can't do anything about that, man. But as long as you're trying to stay above it, you know what I mean? That's really all you can do. You know what I mean? You can voice your opinion, but the thing is that people don't listen to negativity on that. I mean, they listen to negativity because they like to throw gas on the fire. But as far as changing things, you got to be positive for those people, man. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is how I do it, and it makes it easier. It'd be a little bit easier if we played like this. It'd be a little bit more fun. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I've only ever had like one truly awful game of 40K, and it was, I asked the guy a question. Everything was, I don't know, don't you know the rules? And part of the way into the game, when he had gone through that, I was like, "Hey, can you do me a favor? Yeah, can you open your rule book to that unit's thing?" No. He was like, "I won't do that." And I'm like, "All right." I said, "Can I touch your codex?" He was like, "Sure." And I'm like, "All right." So I opened it, and I'm like, "All right, so what did you say it does again?" And he told me, and I'm like, I picked up his book and I pointed and I went, "This is what it actually does." And he was like, "Oh, I must be getting rules confused from a different codex." And I'm like,
the one I
right,
have
I said, so,
on.
I was like, "So you wouldn't mind if I just hold on to your codex and every time you tell me a rule, I look it up to make sure it's okay? Because I kind of know the rules for this book, but not really, really well." And he was like, "Whoa, are you saying I'm cheating?" And I'm like, "No, you just admitted that you thought you were getting a rule confused. So I'm just going with you probably just, remembering an old codex rule or something." And by the end of the game, he was like, "Man, I really was fucking up my army really bad." He goes, "I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "Look, your next opponent's going to have more fun playing against you because now you might know the rules."
And then he went back to doing the rules he was doing all along.
The funny
Probably,
thing,
but at least the game I played against him was fair.
That's literally why we just need the app to be more legit, to be honest. Also, I got another year of the app. But I want the app to be just better, because like the AOS part of the app was amazing for a while with Battle Plan, where you can send you basically want to be able to send your army to somebody, and it has all of your data sheets there. So you can see the rules for each unit and the relevant strats that go with it. You know what I mean? So it's easy for your opponent because they don't have to look through the entire book. They look through just the shit that you have on the table, and the only thing that's available is the strats that you give them. I feel like I died here.
I personally think everyone should use the app, especially when it goofs up. My favorite part of the app last year was when it said suppressors were 0 points. So, I went to an event and tried to run 9 suppressors for 0 points.
How'd it go for you?
I was told no.
That's fair.
All right, Brad. So we got about 10 minutes. Do you want to talk about resolutions for the new year?
I do. We're going to start in the top right. Where's I got to look for there. That's you, Snakes. You are the top right.
My New Year's resolution. I want to get not old and fat. So I'm gonna find the fountain of youth. And I'm gonna lose some weight.
It's a good resolution.
How about hobby-wise?
Hobby-wise, I want to close my painting commission company down. I don't want to paint for anyone else anymore.
Oh, Brad.
That's a travesty. Your New Year's
Brad,
resolution would be
else.
paint more of Brad's shit.
I literally hate painting people's shit, and I want to get it all off my table. Because I don't know if you guys can tell or not, I'm working on stuff right now. But I have about 12 to 15,000 points of stuff that's mine that's still not painted, and I would like to get that all done someday.
Talkie. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That sounds like quitter talk.
I'm literally trying to quit. I agree with you. Yes, I am trying to quit doing painting commissions.
Actually, you know what? Before we go into more New Year's resolutions, I do have one question for Snings. What is the shittiest thing that I've made you paint?
Oh, you mean besides the 150 cultists 2 days before an event?
Oh.
It was 2.5. I told him at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. in the evening, of course.
I think my personal favorite, if you want to go personal favorite paint thing, was after a month and a half of painting podcasts, Brad was painting a salamander.
Screw you. I'm still mad about this.
And then he came over my house, and I painted the exact same level of shading and everything else in 15 minutes and showed him how easy it could be done without all the craziness he was going through.
That's why I've never painted a model ever again. I got defeated. I was defeated by a Space Marine model.
Was this before or after the top broadside?
Oh, God, don't even bring up the Tau stuff that he's had to paint.
What? I took care of those models. Those are all magnetized.
That was a Riptide. Thank you very much.
It was multiple Riptides. I ran Riptide Wing.
Yeah, I know. All 3 of them came back broke.
I was so excited about that. Sniggs let me use his Riptide so I could bring Riptide Ring to Nova. I won that Nova, by the way. And
You did.
I wanted to be, he was like, take care of my models. He was just giving me the scolding. And so I took off all the arms, all the backpacks, and I put everything down, and I wrapped it in all the wrap that he gave me. And when I got back to his house, I just basically splayed it out, and I showed him how awesome of a job I did. And he looks at me and just goes, hey, asshole, none of that shit was magnetized. You just ripped off all the arms and backpacks, dickhead. And I'm like, well, you should magnetize that stuff, man. Well, there's no Double O goes, well, you're not wrong. He goes, Brad's hand-eye coordination is abysmal, and he can't distinguish colors. Yeah, that was part of the problem. That is true right now. I kept the pull up the entire time. Right now, yes. What army should Brandon play? Yes,
right,
27%. No, 20%. Crude Hound spam, 30%. And Marines, 23%.
I guess I'm taking all crude. Got this.
Yeah, or you could be like my new Eldar, which Sniggs literally snuck in. And someone goes, "What are you painting them all up like Vikings?" And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Shush, Brad can't see all those colors." And I go, "God damn it, are you painting all my stuff like the Vikings?"
I'm pretty sure you chose those colors though, because of your favorite.
He did. He said he wanted his Eldar to be purple. And on the color wheel, if you do any painting, you 100% know that the best color to highlight with purple is yellow. Minnesota Vikings colors. It's not my fault he's not a Vikings fan.
He is now.
Exactly. They are 100% Vikings. The best is he has a Viking flag downstairs, and he just happened to take one of my wave serpents and just slide it over next to the Viking flag. And I was like, "You motherfucker." Oh.
So, Brandon, what are you going to do for resolution for the new year?
So I'm going to try to continue to thin out my collection of Space Marines, either finishing up or painting them. So right now I'm actually only down to about 1,500 points to finish and paint.
Nice.
Down from 5,000 to 6,000. I've just been purging things on eBay that I don't think I'm ever going to use.
That's
in addition to
crazy talk.
It is crazy talk.
I have 27 scout bikes. When was the last time you see a scout bike on the table?
Well, why haven't you been putting the scout bikes on the table?
Because they're garbage. They're so bad.
I mean, you're not wrong.
In addition, I want to build a couple more gaming tables. Maybe I'll build a lava table just for you, Brad.
Oh, God.
Brad, you realize now 100% there's going to be a lava table at Du Bois, right?
For sure.
I'll build you one, and I will bring it. I have all the stuff. I have an idea of how to do it right now.
Nice.
Just bleh.
And after that, I'm just attending a couple of events and seeing how well I do. Last 2 years, Eloise has pushed me to play in a lot more tournaments than I had been, and I've been having a blast. Like now, I'm apparently going to Glass City GT, and I wasn't planning on it 2 days ago. So we'll see. We'll have a good time.
Nice.
Everybody has a good time at Glass City.
Thanks. What time are we getting into Vegas?
I would have to check our text. I believe we're leaving here at 5:30, which means we land at 7.
Yeah. So that time, that's when I'm arriving. Brian, what do you got for your mojo?
So my entire hope and goal is this year to judge a little bit less events, and I'm going to be successful at that. I'm going to take a break on a couple things, just because I got a little burnt out towards the end of last year. But I have an entire AdMech Army Nuance brew. I would really like to put it together. Like, I mean, when I say an entire, it's like more stuff than you could possibly imagine. There's probably like 10,000 points worth of AdMech stuff that I just want to at least get put together this year and start painting at some point.
I'm just looking at chat. Judge more people and less events. You're terrible at life. What are you doing?
I judge plenty of events, and I work retail, so I'm forced to judge people all the time.
Who is this guy behind me yelling at me about how I failed my parents?
We're gonna get you like a Judge Dredd outfit for you to walk around just really judging people.
I would 100% wear that at something, guaranteed.
All of the things, some of the stuff. So I'm excited.
And one of the other big things that I want to do is I really want to do a new painting rubric. I've been scratching and itching, and Ken Mitch, who's helped me at Du Bois, other than this year when he got in one of the 8,000 Buffalo snowstorms, got trapped. He's helped me. We updated a little bit this year, and we want to update it and change it a little bit more, and kind of make a 2-tier painting rubric where there's the basic rubric and then there's the advanced rubric for, like, I want to go for best painted, and then that would be like, which do you want to be on, the hobby track overall, or do you want to be, both? Do you want the extensive painting rubric? But
you ready for announcements? I don't want to get stuff thrown at me by Pete, because I was going to wait until the end for everything. First off, Battle Barge Cruise 2023, a mini crafting wargaming vacation, which has been officially started at July 17th, old man Brad's birthday, so I know what I'm asking for. What I'm asking for is a toothbrush, but I'll probably purchase this vacation. So I will hold please. I'm going to copy and paste this, the link that is in the chat. Motor City Mayhem's early pricing ends in a few days. They added Marvel Crisis Protocol and Star Wars Legion to Motor City Madness, which is pretty awesome. Actually, I think Star Wars Legion's a badass game. If I wasn't always playing 40K, I really want to play that more. Contracts being worked on for an ATC style team tournament in February at MCM's old location. And I'm, as someone that is mildly into team events, mildly, I am super excited for another team event. I love it. Everyone listening, listen to it now, listen to me, hear me now, listen to me later. Whatever. But go. If you don't have a team, I have so many people that I talk to that would love to play in team tournaments, and I hear it all the time. I wanted to go, but I couldn't get a team, or I only know one or two other people, man. Give me a message. I will get you in touch with someone that can go to this thing. There's just so many people that want to go, but they don't have 4 other people kind of thing. Man, I'm telling you, you meet new friends, you hang out. It's literally the best way to play 40K.
What weekend?
I don't know yet. That one I don't know. It's going to be in February. It'll be on the Death and Glory site, and look for that. He's going to be getting that out super soon, because obviously the tournament's super soon. I will get you some teams. I will be there for sure playing. I love team events. It's the only way to play. And I'm telling you right now, everyone, this is why I like team events so much. You can play no matter what your skill level and stuff is too, because everyone's points count. You know what I mean? Even if you're losing a game, you grind it out. Your 2 points that you scored, still super valuable. So you can lose every game and super contribute to your team score. It's a big deal. It's why I love it it is so much of a better format than straight singles is. I love playing 40K period. It's playing with my toys. I'll always love it. But the team events are my pride and joy. I just love being a part of them all the time, much as humanly possible. So announcements are made. Are we ready? Let's hit it. I was about to say, does anybody have any more announcements?
I have an announcement. So starting on January 2nd, the Salt City GT tickets will be going up for sale. The 40K side of things are expanding. The Age of Sigmar side are expanding. We're adding Marvel Crisis Protocol, Kill Team, and Star Wars Legion this year. So popping up in our second year to get a little bit bigger. It's kind of nice.
Hey, what weekend's that, Brian?
It's in the first full weekend in July. So I think it's like the 7th through the 9th.
So
should be a good time, and it's a fun event because, number one, it's in a really historic venue. It's an old hotel. There's a private bar specifically for us that's set up. It's got like a lounge area. It's really, really nice.
So I'm psyched about that. Anybody that would like to be on the Thursday show and talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about, your favorite army, your favorite TV show, a movie, cotton candy, I don't care. Give me a message. We love you. We'll put you on. This is literally us trying to chill out and hang out with the community. We talk about a lot of 40K. We'll talk about whatever else. We didn't talk about the MCU today, and I'm sad about that. We'll get to that next time.
Because the MCU is dead.
I'm going to resurrect it. There's so many other things that they can do. Series. I don't even want movies anymore. I just want series.
Like Willow?
I didn't like Willow when it first came out. You know what? Throw the tomatoes at me. I didn't like it then. Whatever. I did like Dark Crystal, though.
Oh, Willow is all about you. It's just some short guy running around the neighborhood.
He's like my age, too, by the way. I think he is my age, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's also like 900.
Matt, we're going to talk about that very next time, because there's been more stuff that came out about the 40K universe, and I'm going to run a poll of that. As soon as I figure out how to actually run a poll and put in stuff besides yes or no, I'm going to say I want I want to have people talk about what they want to see for the 40K universe. You know, like Space Marines, Inquisitor. You know, do they want it to be more like? Remember what was the the Warhammer 40K Plus series that had like a episode about anything? If you've seen it. No, that wasn't the one. It was for theirs. They had a different thing that they had on different factions each time. Or just more like Death, Love, and Robots. I'd love to see something like that too. You could have Eldar 1 week, Marines 1 week, and Inquisitor. You know what I mean? There is so much stuff in the lore that you could do stuff forever, literally, as long as it hits right. That we could have something where they're putting out different shit forever. And the thing is that it opens it up for people that are super creative. So you don't have to worry about directors and stuff keeping the timeline fresh interact, because you could go anywhere you want. You know what I mean? So they could just take their idea and run with it, and it has nothing to do with someone else's idea, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So they could just do whatever the hell they want, which would be super cool. Yes, exactly, Eloise. What do you want to see in the 40K universe? Yes.
I would like to see stuff from the Great Crusade and before the Horus Heresy. I feel like that's
I want to see I don't know how many people have read Titanicus, but the original book was so good, and I would love to see that as like a short mini series. It'd be fantastic.
I want to see the Grey Knights come out. You know, the guys that went, we're going to defeat chaos, and they accidentally warped Titan away for 10,000 years and came back and went, we're ready to fight, guys. Guys. Oh man. Like, yeah, you're literally 10,000 years too late. Well,
they did
sucks.
it. Yeah.
We won.
By procrastination.
The Last Church was amazing, dude. That might be the best thing I've ever seen of fan fiction type put out. If you guys have not seen The Last Church, Google it. It's an amazing YouTube video. I won't spoil it for who's there, but you figure it out fairly quickly. It's so good. It's amazing. So.
I just want to point out to everyone, Blake just sent me a model for approval. I sent it to all of you guys to verify it was a model approval for Glass City. It's a conversion.
All right, let's take a look. I approve.
I approve as well.
I don't know how to post stuff on this. This is
that is fantastic. It's 100% approved.
You know what? Should I put this on? You know, fine. This, before we leave, I'm gonna figure this out real quick. Hold on. I'll put it on.
Jason, do you think you could do a cosplay event for Brad Chester?
A cosplay event? That sounds amazing. We should do a cosplay
event. By Robert from Sweden.
I'll go as a nudist.
Please.
I just want a cosplay where everyone shows up dressed as Brad.
Hold on. We're gonna.
Ohio State would appreciate it.
This is Blake's model that he wanted to get approved. Unicorn dinosaur. That seems amazing. So on that, I can't get anything better than that, everyone. Until next time, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us.
Cheers.
We'll see you soon.
Cheers. Deuces.